Hey, it's
Hey, how are
you. It's
you?
really you. Okay, I wasn't sure because we couldn't see you in chat.
No, I had some people texting me saying that, suggesting I join, I guess. And I heard you mention that you'd reached out to me before and hadn't heard back. I never got that message. If you did, I apologize.
No, you got back, but I asked you to come on the show. You just didn't answer the show, but you did get back to me. You sent me
Oh,
a nice message on Twitter, but I said, hey, if you want to come on, but you just didn't mention coming on.
oh
But
yeah.
that's
So I
okay.
was, until today is the first time I've really spoke since, it happened. I just kind of, because I've been dealing with the family and stuff. So I just figured today I'd give some input to what I may, know to kind of,
Yeah, what
I
do you
don't
know,
know.
man? I heard you were okay. I was getting emails and I didn't want to say anything because I couldn't verify it, but I
Mhm.
was getting emails that tell me if this is true or not that you were on another channel verifying that that was indeed Jagger. Is that true?
No, no, that's getting taken completely out of context. And that
Wow.
there,
Okay.
so just so you know, so there's a group out there that follows me from case to case to case, and this is all they do. They try to describe me. What I said was, when we were at the recovery site, Doug from Adventures with Purpose took us off to the side. Now, keep in mind, we had, the reason I told this is because we had no idea that he was mic'd, that it was really a hot set, and it was being filmed and everything. So he took us aside and he told us the story about the tow truck driver or the service driver. And he, I know that they've said that we want to keep, this person's identity private, even though they've described Jagger to at sea. But to us, what I disclosed, because this is the truth, is he said that they showed the tow truck driver a photo of Jagger, and the tow truck driver said that's him. Now, just so you know, so everybody's clear, I do not buy the story. So I'm
Oh,
not I'm
okay.
not confirming it. I'm saying that that is what they told us that he confirmed it. Um, I don't
Wow.
I don't think I don't I'm not saying that they lied about it. I just don't
I'm so sorry.
I
What
don't
store were
trust.
you on?
No, well, when the Adventures of Purpose came out with that video, obviously they were microphoned, but Doug and everybody, we had no idea when we showed up there, that we were being recorded. So what I just told everybody was, hey, listen, in that conversation, they did say that Jagger was the guy, and I said to everybody was like, I think everybody needs to like dial this back on Jagger a little bit because nothing's been proven, like I mean,
So
I just
they
think it's
showed the tow truck or the roadside assistant guy. They showed him the picture of Jagger, and he confirmed that he said that that was him.
that's what they said that they that's what the story how it was told to us. It was slightly different, than what was in the video. It was, he said that the tow truck driver said that he felt that she was drugged and it was completely incoherent. He did say the seatbelt thing, like has been disclosed, like she couldn't figure out how to work. She asked how to work the seatbelts, but he said that he started filming her because he felt that she had been like roofied or something.
Oh,
But you know, there's some important parts about that are um, I was staying in the same hotel as the FBI card team, right? The child abduction rapid deployment team. I mean, they're tops in the world. U.S. Marshals, Homeland Security was there, and they got this lead. Now, we were told that they gave it to law enforcement the day after they spoke to the guy, but in the video it said the guy says he gave it to them a week earlier. So I don't know which is true, but either way, it would take FBI hours to verify that because we were also told it was AAA. They didn't use the vague
It was
thing in
AAA.
yeah,
oh,
and law
well,
enforcement.
okay. I didn't know
And,
that for sure. It was AAA. Okay.
yeah, and after Adventures with Purpose was told to leave the site, the FBI came over to me, as did Nevada County Sheriff, and they wanted to know exactly what we've been told, about the AAA lead, and they use AAA. So, I don't know. I think they went out immediately, and they would have pulled that video. And let's say that they were building a case. If Jagger was on that video, lying to the FBI is a crime in itself. And he said he was in Napa. So they would have locked him up temporarily on that. They would have been able to hold him on that because lying to the FBI is a federal crime. So I have some doubts about that, I guess is what I'm saying.
Okay. Huh. Do you have any? Okay. So let me back up a little bit. So when you said when they told us, so did the family know about this tip then?
So that was told, yeah, because that was told to us in the first 5 minutes. When I got word that it was on social media that she had been found, the car had been found, I was with um Kiely's dad and grandfather. And I got a call about it and I had to tell them. And then we went, we were 2 minutes from their location because we were up by the party location. We went down there, and in fact, they showed in the video, her father's on the quad runner going down, and then we're right behind him. And so he told us that story pretty quick because he asked, um, if you guys had to suspect anybody, who would you suspect? And it was, and now it kind of makes sense that it was being recorded, like why those questions were being asked. But yeah, so the father and the grandfather both ran on that conversation.
Okay. That's interesting. So I don't even know what to ask, because I know you don't think that there was any foul play, right? You think it was just an
Well,
accident?
I up until a few days ago, let me define like what I can like when I say accident. I do not rule out, and I think it's very possible that there could have been somebody else in the car. There could have been a car behind them, and it could have sideswiped them, and then she goes in the water and they can't get out. I don't think that it was intentional. I don't think this was a intentional homicide. I don't think that she was killed and rolled into the water. I do not discount. I think there's a very good possibility that somebody saw this and they didn't know what to do, and left. But accidental in the sense that this was not meant to happen.
So you don't just so I'm sorry, I'm over here freaking texting people about the UFC fight.
That's good.
So do you think or not think the tow truck driver / AAA or AAA person, you think he's telling the truth or you think he's lying?
I don't think it's accurate. I think if he did indeed service a car out there, I think that it was somebody else. I don't think there's any way to think that it was somebody else. I don't think there's any way, because here's the thing: the phone pings. I was given the cell phone ping location when I got to Truckee, and it's 50 yards from where that car was found. So that means, and also keep in mind, like the phone records, like the Verizon phone records, they've been accessed, and so are social media and everything like that. So the location, so the phone has to go in the water. Before she went to the party, she stopped and got 2 gallons of gas. She was that was her normal kind of routine, like, a 16-year-old, being 16, so they knew that the radius was no more.
Do you know where she stopped at? Which gas station?
Yeah, so she lives by a not a Texaco, but she lives at the end of Coldstream. If you look at it on a map, right at the 80 and Coldstream, there's a pretty sure it's either Chevron or it's one of those right there.
Oh, like a truck stop.
No, this is a regular one. Now the surveillance photo was taken at a truck stop. But she got the gas at a different. So they immediately pulled the surveillance photos from all the gas stations within what they figured was the radius that she could go on 2 gallons of gas, and so nothing came up there. And they got the AAA. They've got all the dispatch records. They've got the video. They've got all that. And as of 3 days ago, I know that I'll tell this. So I got a lead from somebody that emailed me a lead saying that they were aware that somebody murdered her, and they gave the person's identity and everything. It seemed like, I don't think it's credible, but I have to turn all that over to FBI and everything. So when I contacted the FBI about 5 or 6 days ago and her family about it, the FBI replied back, get a hold of Nevada County because we have it closed on our
end. Damn, the FBI told somebody to get a hold of a lesser? Damn.
Of who?
A lesser?
Oh, yeah. Well, they said that their investigation's, wrapped up. So we went to Nevada, and then Nevada did contact me about it, and then her dad talked to them about it, and I know that the last word was they have no reason right now.
Damn, you're a cop?
No, I'm a private investigator.
Damn.
But they have no reason to believe it's foul play. But I can't say with 100% certainty. There's nothing that at the beginning I definitely was leaning that way. I don't see anything that really.
But what about what AWP found though? Like, you don't find that suspicious though? Like where she was found. I think the passenger side window was busted out before, because there's only one pile of glass. Now that those divers are going down there, they're saying there's just one pile of glass. It looks like where they flipped over the car and it's the driver, or the driver's side broke. So where did that window break out from? Like, I think something happened before.
So Ventures with Purpose won't talk with me anymore. So, but from what I heard on a live stream today or yesterday, that they actually clarified that the passenger window was down but not broken out. And what we were told when we arrived on scene is that the passenger window was down and that the rear driver passenger was 3/4 of the way down.
The dude wiped it off.
Yeah,
sent me a clip where today he said, or it might have been yesterday. I apologize. He seemed to walk that back and say, and this was actually I think it was on Grizzly's show. He seemed to walk it back and say that it was down. I don't know though. I mean, it does keep going back and forth.
Oh, wait a minute. What about this? What if?
Well, he said that she called from somebody else's phone because she said hers was dead.
Yeah, but if she was dead, then she can't though.
But he also said, I mean, listen, I'm just pointing out something. He also said that he was there to service a dead battery, but then they figured out it was really that the car was in neutral, not a dead battery. But then he says he told her to keep it running for 2 hours, but you didn't have to charge the battery.
Has it been verified that it was Kiely's car?
No, that's the whole thing. But my point is that the FBI went to AAA immediately, and they would have dispatch records. Whoever ordered the service would be a policyholder because that's an insurance product. The guy said that there's video, rear and audio. They went and got this information right away. I mean, they were on top of stuff. Like, I know that there was a guy that Kiely had met in Mexico, and they wanted, just because she had just briefly met him, they tracked him down.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. I didn't hear that. She met a guy in Mexico?
She was in Mexico on vacation like a week before she went missing. She had gone down there with a Max bomb, but they investigated everybody. Like, they tracked them down instantly and met with them. You can bet that something like this, I know that they did. They went out and pulled all those records, and the fact that they're not just pinging around everybody, they're not interested. That lead is not of interest anymore.
Did they
what lead's not interested?
Interview Jagger?
Sorry, Zab, go ahead.
Sorry.
No,
Don't forget your question, Ryan. But did they interview Jagger? Did the FBI talk to Jagger at all? Do you know?
Yes.
Oh, they did?
Oh yeah. They've talked to they've interviewed all the family, all the friends and everything. Yeah. Oh, so everybody, all the names that you'll hear, like, that they are being mentioned, like Kate and even like Nate and all those people, they've all been interviewed. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they had 45 when I was at the hotel. I know they had 45 just FBI alone there. That doesn't include, there's 3 other agencies involved as well. I mean, they were talking to everybody.
Mm.
So once they found the car, they think it's an accident? Because
no, definitely not. I mean, they processed it. We were there a long time. I mean, they processed it as a crime scene. They told us, they said, this is a crime scene. And that's how they processed it. They brought in the FBI crime lab. It's a black trailer you see in the overhead shot. They brought that in from San Francisco. Took them like 3 or 4 hours to get it there. That was kind of the delay in pulling the car out. One of the delays of getting the car out. They definitely investigated it as a crime. I just don't think that they've found anything that really suggests that. Now, listen, how she ended up there is I don't get. I've been there enough. It's a weird series of turns to make, unless she came down the beach from the other side. And the only way I could see that happening is if there was like other cars with her and they were playing around. They were known to kind of like fuck around in cars, and like.
What do you think? What do you think about the laptop guy?
That's so. So he called me when he found that, because he's like, I have no idea what.
I have a question. How are all these people able to call you?
Well, he's somebody I met him when one time when I was out there. He had been searching, and he DM'd me. He kept leaving comments saying, "I DM'd you. Please check. Please check." And then he's like, "Hey, you remember me?" And this, and I did remember who he was. And he said, "I found this laptop. I'm trying to get a hold of law enforcement. I cannot get through to anybody." So I called Detective Saunier, who's the lead detective on it, and let him know about it. And then I called her, Kiely's father and grandfather, and the grandfather went out there immediately. And
just out of curiosity, and it's just because I keep seeing like different stuff on the internet. Which one is the dad and which one's the grandpa?
David Robinson is the grandfather, and Daniel Rodney's her bio guy.
I just find it odd that nobody has mentioned this crack in the windshield above the steering wheel. It's a circular pattern. The window's intact, but it's obvious that window is dented, cracked, smashed, however you want to word it. So I've always pictured this was a tragic accident. Having 4 daughters myself between the ages of 18 and 26, I can imagine them, God forbid, I don't know if she was drinking or not, but even if she was. Okay, so we'll say she was drinking. Even if not, driving in that area, it just seems like it was a wrong turn. Maybe she flew. You know how even people have tried to go up that hill and they've gone down and almost gone into the water. Mm-hmm. It's almost as if she was maybe going fast, didn't have her seatbelt on, went up over that embankment, down, maybe unfortunately smacked into the windshield, knocking herself out, and unable to get out. That's what I've always imagined. I think the fact that her car being seen 12 hours later at Boca is completely ridiculous to even think that if something was going, if there was foul play, why would they stay in that area for 12 hours with her car?
Yeah, why? Steve, don't you find it weird that Jagger and Kate both are so mad at AWP for finding? Like they found her friend. Why are they so mad about that? That looks guilty to me.
Well, I'm not super thrilled with them either. I'll be honest with you. I mean, I'm super grateful they found her. I think that the notification process was bad. I think them throwing the family and other people under the bus on that is I think it all could have been done correctly.
When you say throw under the bus, what do you mean?
Yeah, I didn't see
Well-
them throw
I'm a little
anybody under the
confused
bus.
with
That's why I'm confused with all that.
Well, because
thing, 'cause I
they're
didn't-
saying that the family was notified, and they're saying the family's lying about being notified.
They were notified. I mean, they were notified the
That's
way
their-
that the contact info that they had, we seen. They notified the people that they had, and we
Mhm.
saw them tell the dad too.
But
though.
but I told the dad and brought the dad there.
Because you were contacted, correct?
That was you in
No,
the AWP
no.
video?
Yes,
Why was your face blurred out?
because they know I'm going to.
Oh, that
the
was
truth.
you.
Yes.
I didn't even
Oh,
realize
yeah.
that
Well,
was
if
you
they
that
know
was
you're
blurred
going to tell the
out.
truth, they're not
Oh.
going to
I knew that
still
was him. Yeah.
post
Oh, I
it.
didn't. Wow. Okay, I'm a little slow now. I didn't realize that was you that was blurred out. Okay.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
feel like
But
I
off
watched
of Mama Force theory,
Yeah.
if we
but
were
to answer
16,
your question,
17, if
Wait,
we
hold
were
on. Let him answer the question. He didn't answer. Go ahead.
when you said they notified me or whatever, or I don't know, that is not how we're somebody I work with in Tennessee saw it, an analyst I work with, DeetS Mystery, she saw it on Facebook, and it had been published like 28 minutes earlier. I got the call from her at 2:48 p.m. Saying,
The Spanish
"Have you-"
lady?
What's that?
The Spanish lady?
No, the Spanish lady. What do you mean?
No, never mind.
Oh no. So she said, and I was standing right in front of him. She's like, it's on all over Facebook. They found her. I was like, oh my God. And so I had to tell them, and then we went down there, and then so I know everybody's saying, oh, they told her, but that's not how it happened. It had been out for 25 minutes. I don't know how they got the contact people numbers of the ones they did, but that's not her like blood relatives, and the
That's the
relatives
number
were.
that they had, though. They didn't have
What-
the.
Who did they get it from?
I don't know, but that's probably the only contact that they had because that's what they showed. I mean, they were supposed to probably they were probably supposed to reach out and contact the other people. So when did they actually find the car? Because I heard it was 2 hours later.
Well, so I watched their documentary or whatever today, and if you look on their sonar, it has time on there, and some of the time says 12, like 11, and then there's
Yeah.
there's
Go ahead.
other that says 3:30. So they obviously filmed some of that is just acting. They just filmed it after the fact.
Wait, the
Or
AWP
maybe they were
thing?
waiting to. But do you look at it? Why don't you look at it like they found it at like around noon, and they contacted people, and they waited for everybody to be informed before they
And they
did
made it
anything.
very
That
clear
makes sense to me that
that-
they waited.
Okay.
Isn't that what you're asking them to wait? And wasn't that what they were doing? They were
Well,
waiting.
so they put in the thing. When he's on the phone, it says Lori on the screen, Laurie, and I put a statement out that I received from Lori saying she never received a call. So I don't know
Who's
what
Lori?
to. That's who they said they called, the aunt. Now they
think they
edited
called
that
the
out. They edited that out, and they're saying, "Oh, we did that at the request of the family," but they edited it out because the statement came out. So I don't know. I would just wish they would say, "Listen, they did a fantastic thing. They did an amazing thing. She would be a cold case if it was not for Adventures with Purpose."
Yeah.
There's no doubt. But why not why now the family just feels like now we've got the whole internet turned against us because they think we're ungrateful when that's not the case. They're just like, we never gotten, to this date, they've never heard from them. And law enforcement never got a call. They learned about it on the internet, on Facebook.
Who is blocking all the calls from getting to the law enforcement?
Right.
Listen, I know they have Detective Sonier's phone number. I know they do because they were talking, they were in contact with him before. He gave them the ping location and everything. I don't know why they didn't get called.
Steve,
But they're
why
also saying-
didn't the? Oh, I'm sorry.
But they're also saying that the guy that found all the stuff at the bottom couldn't get in touch with the law enforcement either.
He couldn't, but he didn't know any. He didn't know any of those people, and that's why he was trying to get a hold of me, and that's why I called Detective Sonier about it. He was very. He's like he was calling the non-emergency line, and they were kind of bouncing him around. I told him either I can call Sonier or I suggested just call 911. Don't be afraid to call 911 about that. And they did end up coming out. They weren't going to
Supposedly,
at first.
sorry,
So they did
supposedly
come
the
get
tip
the
line
advice.
wasn't working, right?
The what?
I'm just trying to take advantage of us having somebody who who's actually like a PI that was there because we can ask a bunch of questions.
I probably know less than you hope, but
Can
I mean,
can we look at the timeline again? What we just
Yeah.
talked about. So 12 o'clock is when they probably found her, right? And they
Well,
didn't
in the
notify
debrief-
you. Didn't know about
yeah.
it until what? Almost 3.
2:48.
They probably waited a couple hours before they posted it online because they probably contacted the family, waited for family to get a hold of law enforcement, all that to happen. They waited 2 hours. It sounds like I think that's a good amount of time to expect the great aunt. I think it was the great aunt, right? That was supposed to probably contact the family. They had the contact number that they had. They did what they were supposed to. They called the contact number and they gave them 2 hours before they probably posted anything, right? So why is that? I don't understand how that's wrong. That's 2 hours. It sounds like almost.
If they could show they did that,
But you just said the time. So we know there was a time
No.
between 12 and then 3. right?
Right, but I don't know that. Listen, they haven't produced anybody. If they could get whatever Lori, they called, I think that would be very helpful if we can get a statement from that person.
Okay, I heard. It's been going around that I think it's the.
Now they changed the name to
Tony's
LORI.
Yeah, Tony's dad's
Yeah.
sister or something. It would be the grading.
Right,
I
it's
think.
a very distant step relative.
That's
Here's
weird.
the thing.
They probably
Here's the
trusted
thing.
the
The volunteer trail, the trailer where all the volunteers checked in and you picked up water and all the maps were at and everything, was right at the entrance of the process. The family was living there in a trailer. There was family there 24/7. It's very easy to get their number. The number was posted on the side of the trailer. So I don't know.
Yeah, but they went by the number that they had because he did explain the difference between Lori and Lori.
Does this
Okay,
name
how did they get the number? One of them's in Chicago.